Okay, folks, like I said a million times, the name Elvis is an anagram for the word lives, L-I-V-E-S. And yes, it can be evils also, E-V-I-L-S. But look, Elvis lives, right? So if Elvis was alive, because he died back in 1977 at the age of 42. But if Elvis was alive right now, he'd be 87 years old because he turned 87 on January 8th this year. Now, I told you that Trump and Elvis are the devil twins, right? And right now, Trump is 75 years old, and he's not going to turn 76 until June 14th. And I told you that Seattle's going to be struck on June 11th, so Trump will still be 75 years old on June 11th. He doesn't turn 76 until June 14th, his birthday. So Elvis is 87, Trump is 75 right now. And this will be exactly what it is on June 11th when Seattle gets struck. And look how old, look at what it adds up to. 87 plus 75 equals 162. And why is that important? And the 162nd day of the year is June 11th. You understand? That's the day Seattle's going to get struck. And I told you that Obama was needed to complete this charade. I told you this is the unholy trinity, these three. And if you add Obama, who's 60 years old right now, and he will not turn 61 until August 4th. And August 4th is the day that Trump gets his head wound. Okay? But on June 11th, this will be their ages. Okay? So what does this add up to? 222. Okay? And this year is 2022, right? And it's been 222 years since Washington died. And Seattle's in Washington. Do you understand? And Washington's birthday is celebrated on 222. Okay, so it's been 222. I mean, it's 222 for the year 222. And you add this equation, the 162 was June 11th. So basically it's telling you June 11th, 2022. Do you get what I'm saying? There, it's right in front of you right here. And I've shown this before. This is nothing new, okay? But I had to show this first before I move on. And you remember when I showed, you see their initials are E.T. And you know E.T. You remember this movie? E.T. The extraterrestrial? E.T. Elvis Trump, right? Look at the release date, June 11th, the 6/11. I told you that's when Seattle's going to get struck. And look at the year, 1982. Do you know why that's important? If you read the numbers backwards, what would you get? 8219, right? 1982, 8219. That's what Seattle equals, 8219. But they have it 1982. So basically, E.T. is Elvis Trump, June 11th, Seattle. That's what they're telling you with this, right? Now, let's see if I can connect the 1982 to Elvis. Well, wouldn't you know it? From Elvis's birthday, the day he was born, January 8th, 1935, to June 11th is 1982 days. You see that? June 11th is 1982 from Elvis's birthday. And I told you 8219 is Seattle. Do you see how crazy that is? So from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is 1982 days. You see that? And I told you ET stands for Elvis and Trump because Trump is the replacement identical twin for Elvis's real twin who supposedly died at birth, you know. Anyway, and I told you 8219 is Seattle. And you want to hear something funny? Look, they mentioned Jurassic Park here, right? And you know, my channel name is based on this, you know. My channel name is Jurassic Liars. And look, it's released on June 11th. You see that? Again, a great coincidence, right? Anyway, back to this, because I already connected it to Elvis, right? The E.T. movie. Let's connect it to Trump, because I told you the T is for Trump, right? So check this out. Remember, I told you Seattle equals 8219. And what I was showing you earlier was the 1928 was the backwards number. But 8219 is Seattle. And from Trump's birthday, the exact day he's born, excuse me. Man, my throat's killing me from all the talking I'm doing lately. Anyway, from Trump's birthday, the day he's born, to Washington's death date, George Washington died on December 14th. It's 8219. Seattle, you see? And Seattle's in Washington. Now, let's go from December 14th to June 14th, and let's see how many days it is. Look at that. I just switched the dates. December 14th to June 14th now, and it comes out to 8219. If you went forward 8,219 days, it's a Seattle number again. You see? And it's connected to Trump and the Washington death, because Seattle's going to get struck, Seattle, Washington. And you know Elvis, he died in Memphis, Tennessee, where, and this is his compound, his house was called Graceland. Okay, and I told you how it kind of looks like the president, the White House, with the 4 columns and the, you know, the triangular top, pyramid, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so when he died in 1977, you know, they didn't open Graceland up to the public for years after. Let me show you when they opened Graceland to the public. Look when they opened Graceland to the public for the tours. 6/7/1982. Okay, and you already know the 1982 is the Seattle, because Seattle equals 8219. June 7th is the 67. And if you've been watching my videos, I told you the identical twins, Elvis's identical twin who died at birth, Jesse and Elvis, both of their names equaled 67. And why was this important to 67? Because 67 is the first number in the numerical chart. If you went from 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 67, it's the first number that equals 162. 67 is the first number that equals 162, which is June 11th. 162nd day of the year is June 11th. Do you understand? So, do you understand? So, when they opened Graceland back up on June 7th, 1982, so you had the Seattle, 8219, and 6/7 was the Elvis-Jesse connection, and 67 equals 162. Do you understand? And 162 is June 11th, the date. So remember that Elvis died at the age of 42, and I told you Washington is the 42nd state, right? Just remember that he died at 42. Now watch how I connect the word twin to, why this event is going to happen this year, okay, in Seattle. Now look at this. Twin, let's start, from the very top here. 66, 42. This is the forward numbers. This is the backwards numbers. So 66, 42 for the word twin. And remember that Twin Towers were destroyed, right, on 9/11? And from the very day Elvis was born, January 8th, 1935, and remember, his identical twin died supposedly at birth. So from the day he was born to September 11th, 2001, forget about the days. It's 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. And I told you 8/4 is the day that Trump gets his head wound, okay? But forget about that right now. It's the 66 years that I want you to look at. So remember, it's 66 years from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 when the Twin Towers fell. So you see the word twin? It equals 66. So it's been 66 years from Elvis's birthday to the day the Twin Towers fell, right? 66. And how old was Elvis? 42. And when was Elvis born? 108. Do you see? Okay? Okay, but forget about these numbers anyway. It's the 6642. So twin equals 66. It was 66 years from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, and Elvis was 42 when he died. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, now let's do this number. 24. What is this 24 number? So from Elvis's death date, when he was 42 years old, to September 11th, it was 24 years. Did you see that? So I connected the 66, the 42, the 24. Now let's connect the 21. So you remember when Elvis took the polio shot on live television? Well, of course, you're not going to remember it. None of us are. This was back in 1956. Elvis was the first famous person to take on live television, to take an injection, if you know what I mean. He took the needle on October 28th, 1956. And you know who was born on October 28th? It was Bill Gates. He was born 1 year before, on October 28th, 1955. And Bill Gates was born in Seattle, where the Space Needle is. Okay? And Elvis took the needle on that day in 1956. And from Elvis's birthday, the day he was born, to that day he took the needle on Bill Gates's first birthday, 1956, it was 21 years. You see? So there's your 21 that I was trying to connect. But the reason I'm showing you this and why it's so important is because, see, I'm going to connect it to Seattle. Look at the percentage. You see the percentage? 21, because that's for the years, 21 years, 8219. And what is 8219? That's Seattle, 8219. Do you see? So basically, I connected the 66, the 42, the 24, the 21, and now, before I show you the last two, let me just connect one more thing. You remember just a minute ago I showed you that from Elvis's birthday to the day that Elvis took the needle, it had to do with the 21 years and the Seattle. Look at this. From Trump's birthday, the day he's born, to April 4th, 1968, and I'll explain to you why this is important in a moment. First of all, it's the 44. 44 is the kill number. 44 equals kill. But look, it's the exact same days as when Elvis took the injection, from Elvis's birthday to the day Elvis took the injection. It's the exact same amount of days and everything. Watch. See? 21, 82, 19. That's the 21 years, and the 8219 is for Seattle, you see? And why is this so important, this date? And why am I showing it to you? 4/4/1968. That's the day a king died. 4/4/68 in Memphis, Tennessee. And that's where Elvis was living, the whole time when he was alive. He was living there since the age of 13, Memphis, Tennessee, and he died there, Elvis. So the king got whacked where the king lived. You understand? Elvis the king on 4/4/68. And that 4/4/68 was very important to Elvis too, because from Elvis's birthday to April 4th, it was 33 years. You see? All right? And you see this number 1214 with a 0? I told you the 0 is a crown. 1214 is the day George Washington died, December 14th. Okay? And like I said, when you're doing the calculations, you can either put that last day or not include it. And you see, whatever way it fits your, whatever you're going to do, you put it in. It's either you use that day up to that day or including that day. All right? Because if I add that day, it would be 2 months and 28 days. And I told you that the 228th day of the year, Elvis died on August 16th, was the 228th day of the year, if you were to add that day. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I just was showing you that it's connected even to Elvis's birthday, the MLK death. And I told you Seattle is in King County, and Elvis was known as the King, right? And it's named after MLK now. It was named after a different king, and they changed it back in 2005 or 2006. I don't remember now the year, but they changed it to MLK. And what happened to MLK? I just showed you. Death and destruction. And that's where Seattle is, in King County. Okay, folks, pay attention closely. Like I said, it's going to get even better, the video. So the word twin, I've kind of showed you all the connections with these numbers, but the final number, because 66 plus 21 equals 87, 42 plus 24 equals 66, this is what's important. It's 8766. Okay, now why is this important? Because remember, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, the day the towers, the twin towers fell, and Elvis's identical twin died at birth. Okay, twin equals 66. And from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, it was 66 years. And this year, on 6/11, Elvis will, he's 87 now. So it's the 8766. Do you understand? Elvis, 87 years old. 9/11, he was 66. Do you get it? And there's 21 years in between, but from the date 9/11 to 6/11, it's actually 20 years and 9 months. So that's why I didn't show it to you. But if you look at the year between 2001 and 2022, it's 21 years. You get what I'm saying? So that's why the 21 was the only sketchy thing that I showed. Everything else matched perfect. Because Elvis was 42 years old, and it was 24 years from his death to 9/11, and it was 66 years from his birthday to 9/11. Anyway, like I said, this year, 87 is a 6/11 event. 9/11, he was 66. You see? And this year, the new Elvis movie that's coming out in June, and I've already shown you the connections with that. Tom Hanks, the biggest star basically in Hollywood, almost, is playing this guy right here, who was Elvis's manager. Let's look at him. So Elvis's manager, the one that Tom Hanks is playing character, died at 87. Do you see? Another 87 connection. And his initials, TP, is 2016. The P is the 16th letter T. And I told you how important the 16/20/2016 is if you've been watching my videos. Because it connects to my prediction dates. June 11th and August 4th. Like I said, folks, pay attention. It's going to get interesting here. So, Elvis's dad is Vernon Presley. And I told you, George Washington, he lived at a place called Mount Vernon. Okay? And so this is when Vernon Presley died, 6/26. And interestingly enough, Colonel Tom Parker, the manager of Elvis, he was actually born on 6/26. And Fred Trump, Trump's father, died on 6/25. But forget about that. So he died on 6/26, 1979. So if you went from June 26, 1979 to September 11, 2001, when the Twin Towers fell, and remember, this is Elvis's dad. This is the serpent seed dude. He created this creature, Elvis. Look at the numbers. It's 22 years, 2 months, 16 days. So remember, Elvis was born in the first month. Trump was born in the 6th month. Okay, so yeah, there's your 1/6, and that's why the insurrection happened on 1/6 at the Capitol. But the 2/16 is August 4th is the 216th day of the year, or backwards it's 162. That's June 11th, and the year is 22. Get it? Or 222, whatever you want to see it. 2022. All right. So it's got all the connections there to 9/11 from Vernon Presley's death. So this particular event was very important to this puzzle, okay? The Seattle Kingdom, see, it's about destroying Seattle, King County, right? I told you, Elvis was the king, Martin Luther King, it's named after now, the King County. Anyway, it was demolished on March 26, 2000, the Seattle Kingdom, 3/26/2000. So pay attention closely, okay? So from Vernon Presley's death on 6/26/1979 to the Kingdom demolition in Seattle, it's 20 years, 9 months, 1 day. Just remember that. 20 years, 9 months, 1 day. Now look at this. From September 11, 2001, when the Twin Towers fell, to this year, when Seattle's going to get struck, it's 20 years, 9 months, 1 day. You see? I just showed you how it was connected to Vernon Presley's death and the Seattle Kingdom being destroyed. It was 20 years, 9 months, 1 day. All right? Do you understand what I'm showing you? So here's where it gets really creepy, folks. Pay attention. So just like Trump is not Elvis's real twin, Vernon, he had a brother who was not his twin because they were born in different years. Let's take a look at his brother. So look when Vernon Presley's brother was born. September 11th, 1914. And I told you 19 plus 14 equals 33. And the Space Needle in Seattle, it starts with the S and the N. S is the 19th letter, N is the 14th letter. But forget about that. He was born on September 11th, 1914. Let's see if he's connected to 9/11. Other than already being connected to 9/11. So from the day that Vester Presley was born, Vernon's brother, Elvis's father's brother, to 9/11, when the Twin Towers fell, first of all, it's got the 777, okay? But here's what's important. It was 87 years. And I just told you that twin equals 87. And Elvis, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, it was 66 years. Okay? And Vester turned 87 on 9/11/2001. Do you understand? From Elvis's birthday to 9/11, it was 66 years. And what is Elvis this year? He turned 87. Now check out this equation. From Vester Presley, you know, Vernon's brother, Elvis's dad's brother, the day he's born to the day Trump is born. Look at that date. Look at those numbers. 11,600. It's the 611 backwards with 2 crowns. For Elvis and Trump, I told you. 6/11. That's the day that Seattle's going to get struck. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show this in connection to the Seattle Kingdom that was demolished. From Trump's birthday, the day he was born, to the Kingdom demolition. Check this out. If you go to the percentage, look at what it is. Okay, it's 53. 8219. 8219 is Seattle, and 53 is the 53 years, right? But the 53rd day of the year is 2/22. Washington's birthday they celebrate. You understand? So there's your 53 for 2/22, Seattle. Seattle 2022, you get it? Okay, and that was from Trump's birthday to the Seattle Kingdom demolition. King County, do you understand? Seattle, King County is going to be destroyed. And you remember in the last video, I told you that Washington, where Seattle is located, Washington State, was founded on November 11th, 1889. 11/11. And I know I showed this in the last video, but I have to show it again because it's so important. So from the day that Washington was founded, November 11th, 1889, and by the way, 11/11 equals 22. Okay, there's your 22 again for the year, this year. Anyway, from the day Washington was founded, to the exact date that Elvis died, it was 87 years. And I told you from Elvis's birthday to this year, 6/11, it's 87 years, okay? And by the way, look at the days right here. It's 32,055. 32 plus 55 equals 87, okay? But what's important about this is the percentage. Look, it's 87 years, right? And Elvis is 87 this year. 8219. That's the number of Seattle, 8219, and Elvis turned 87 this year. Don't you understand, man? Okay? These are impossible coincidences. And just like I showed you, from Elvis's death to the next time 6/11 comes around, the very next year, from August 16th, Elvis's death, to the next time 6/11 comes around, because 6/11 is going to be the day Seattle struck, it's 8219. It's Seattle. Seattle, 8219 on 6/11. Do you understand how ridiculous this is, man? These are impossible coincidences. And from August 16th to 11/11, when Washington was founded, you know, if you just go forward to the same year, it's 87 days. You get what I'm saying? And I told you from the day that Washington was founded back in 1889, it was 87 years from his birthday. And if you go forward to 11/11, it's 87 days. But it was 87 years from the day Washington was founded on 11/11/1889. You know? And look at this. It's 226, it says right here. Do you know what happened on 226? Do you know that there was an original bombing of the Twin Towers back in 1993? It was on 226. Do you see that? And it was bombed, you know, before the, you know, when 9/11 happened. This is before 9/11. And if you go forward from August 16th, 1977, Elvis's death date, to 226, it's 6 months, 11 days. You see how everything is connected to Elvis and the 6/11? So you remember I told you that Elvis's dad's brother, Vester Presley, was born on September 11th. And if you go forward to 9/11/2001, it was 87 years, right? Because I was connecting the 8766 twin number. And let's see how old he was when he died. So check this out. He died at the age of 82, okay? Now let's see how old he's going to be this year. Now I haven't shown you this yet, so pay attention closely. So from the day that Vester Presley was born, that's Elvis's dad's brother, to this year, June 11th, 2022, when the Seattle's going to be struck, you see the date, 9/11 to the 6/11. Now watch this. It's 107 years old he is. So that means he died at 82, and now he's 107. Just hold on, okay? Let's look at his percentage first, okay? Look at that. It's 107, 8219. So you have the 8219 for Seattle, and you have the 107 for his age this year, and the 82 when he died. But it's the 8219 Seattle, right? So it's 10782. Just look at this for his ages. He died at 82, and 107 is now, right? Look at this, will you? Look, he's 107 years old, and he died at 82. You see, and remember, I told you the number 8219 was in his numbers also for the percentage. That's Seattle. This way, it's 10782 was in the percentage, and that's his age. Right now is 107, and he died at 82. Okay? The only thing missing is the 44. Where is the 44? And that's where Elvis comes in. From Elvis's death date to June 11th, it's been 44 years. You see? And 44 is the kill number. Okay, 44 equals kill. Kill equals 44, and MLK was killed on 4/4. I showed you the connections with that. And it's also been 44 years in between the dates of the day Elvis took the injection on live television on Bill Gates' first birthday to 9/11. It was 44 years. And the reason I'm connecting that, because see, the Seattle Space Needle is in Seattle. Bill Gates was born in Seattle. And Elvis has everything to do with the needle. You don't understand? Because when you heard Elvis, you heard him off his albums. You know what I'm saying? Because Satan is the prince of the power of the air. You understand? And Elvis, that's how you heard Elvis, through the radio and through the albums, which played with a needle. Do you understand? And I told you guys Elvis was the first famous person that had anything to do with the Seattle Space Needle. He made a movie called It Happened at the World's Fair. As soon as it opened, the Space Needle, he made a movie about it. And notice his name is knocking down the Space Needle. And look up here, it says Elvis swinging higher than the Space Needle. So remember, I was just showing you all the connections with Seattle, and the 8219 and the 82107 was the ages of Vester Presley, the day he died, and then this year, 10782. Watch this. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that the letter O is a crown. I told you that. So if you put a crown on the name Jesse, who is Elvis's dead twin, look what you get. 82107. All of these numbers are the same. The only number different is the 28. Seattle was 8219, 10744. It's 8228, and you see it's the same number, right? You know what I mean? The same numbers, because that's the twins. And if you put O Elvis here, you'd have 8228 also. But back here, it's not the same. See, this is O Elvis, 8280. And notice it's 162. That's the June 11th, you see? When you put a crown on Elvis. See, the first part is the same, but the back part's not. And isn't it funny? It's got the OJ when you put the O Jesse. Anyway, like I said, O Jesse is the 8210744 right here, which connects to the Seattle. Every number's the same except this one. You see? And you know the 19 is all about the Corona thing, right? And Corona means crown. And Seattle's in King County. And Elvis was known as the king. And like I've showed 100 times, that from Elvis's death date in that